So this is my winter training setup. Now, before you start yammering away on the keyboard to tell me that there's no mud guards on it and it's not made out of steel, please let me explain why my summer bike is actually a brilliant choice to be my winter bike for 2025. So this bike has been my training bike, and I intend it to be my training bike for a little while to come yet. For the last year or so, I've been doing pretty much all my road training on this machine. It's a Canyon Ultimate CFSL. I bought it second hand. I bought it off a guy that had done quite a lot of crit racing on it, and it was red. So I immediately had it repainted in this color because, as we know, blue is faster than red. But as I say, the main objective for this bike isn't to be fast or aero or climb well. It's just to get me out the door, to hopefully not have any problems with, and just get the training done. So it's a carbon frame. The main reason I got this specific bike is because the actual geometry is quite aggressive. So when I get onto other bikes for crits and road races and even time trial bikes, I've not ridden in a very different position on this. It is still quite low on the front end, and it's not super aggressive, but it's aggressive enough that when I get on those other bikes, it doesn't feel like a massive change. Now, when I got this bike, it had an integrated cockpit. I took that off and put a standard cockpit on there, so round bars, so that I could attach my time trial clip-on bars. Now, these do draw a bit of attention from cyclists. I know pure cyclists will think this is ridiculous and it looks stupid and it's dangerous and all of that. Now, when I'm doing triathlons, I'm on a time trial bike, so therefore on the road, I want to be able to train in that position or close to that position, and this enables me to be able to do that. So by swapping the bars, that meant I could put this setup on. I have actually swapped over. These are the exact extensions and the risers from my time trial bike. I've just unbolted them and put them on here so that I'm training on the exact equipment I'm going to be racing on. I don't use them all the time, but having them there helps me keep my hand in over the winter, so when it gets to spring, I've not got such a big job trying to get used to the position again. Drivetrain, so brakes, they are the Hope RX4 Pluses, and I really like these. Now, they do make a bit of noise when braking. However, they're a British brand. When I built this bike, I thought, oh, they look pretty cool because they're blue. I'll get them. You get a couple of sets of pads with them, and they've been really good. I've replaced the pads once, and they were really easy to work on. I have had challenges with normal like SRAM and Shimano brakes in the past, probably caused by myself, to be honest, but these were a dream to work on. They're 4-pot, so they're really, really strong. Overkill for the road, absolutely, but when the weather is bad and it's raining, on that bit of extra power on the rotor, it has that. Group set is the SRAM Rival AXS 12-speed 2x, and I really like this setup. I'm not sure I'd use it if I was building an out-and-out race bike, but for the purpose intended, 1036 rear cassette, 4835 chain set. I've got a massive range. I've got an NRG wax chain on there and ceramic bearing jockey wheels. It all just works. I've been out on a ride today, and I've said to myself a couple of times and on the video, it's noise-free, it just works well, shifts well, and that is making a big difference to me out on the bike. If you enjoy riding the bike you're riding, you're going to ride it more, right? The cranks are 165, and I have got some Garmin Rally pedals on there. Quite like the pedals in terms of reliability, and they always connect, but I'm having a little bit of a challenge at the minute with Garmin. The bearings need changing, and I essentially can't get hold of any, but I will cover that in a separate video very soon. So that is the group set. So I guess the only significant change I've made to this bike from its summer setup is the wheels and tires. So these are Veta Invernos, so I do partner with Veta on this channel. These are aluminium wheels. They're not designed to be super fast. They're 1500 grams. They're made with, so Jono tells me, who's a bit of a wheel geek, really reliable spokes and hubs, and they're a all-round, you can use them on gravel, use them on road, but just a reliable training wheel set offered at a better value price point than carbon wheels. Now, when he first sent me pictures of these, I did look at the chrome spokes and I thought, I'm not sure if I like that. It has grown on me. I know it's going to be a bit Marmite to some people, but I think it ties in with the hubs quite well, and for a training wheel set, which is exactly what I'm looking for, this works absolutely fine. I want to go out knowing that I'm not at any risk of pinging a spoke or anything like that, and I know those things happen from time to time regardless of what brand you ride, but I've ridden these once today and really liked them, and to be honest, I can't really tell that they're much slower than like other wheels that I ride. So why are there no mudguards on this bike? Why have I not bought a specific winter bike? And I guess I should describe my winter training. I mainly train indoors, especially when the weather is bad. Living in the Peak District in Derbyshire is brilliant and I absolutely love it. However, when the weather is bad, it is bad. So on days like today, when it's been dry but a bit cool, I'll go out riding my bike. On days when it's drizzling or damp, I probably won't. I'd probably be indoors. So therefore, this sort of bike is absolutely fine. I have put the Continental GP 5000 all-season tyres on on for this winter. I used them last winter as well and really liked them. I've set these up clincher so that if I do have a puncture, it's just easier to manage out on the road. I've got 2 of the Tubolito style tubes in my saddlebags so that I've got enough spares for multiple punctures, and that's all I really care about for the winter training. I'm not really even thinking about rolling resistance or anything like that. It's just a case of, take enough things out to get me home. The other reasons are I do a lot of my riding alone. Now in the winter I'm going to try and get out with friends when I can, but the harsh reality is that I'm not as fast as my friends, so I'm often just getting dropped. So if it is damp on the roads, I'm either going to be on the back or off the back, so therefore mudguards aren't a worthwhile investment for myself. I'm not going to be going on the chain gang or anything like that, so they're not really essential. I could get some clip-on mudguards on this bike, but I just don't see the priority in them. They're noisy, rub, collect wind a bit more, so a bit more drag for me to deal with, and I just don't think they're essential. I don't ride in a cycling club that makes them mandatory, so it doesn't really matter. The tyres actually come up on these wheels at 34mm wide as well, so I do half think maybe the mudguards wouldn't actually fit, but who knows. The other main reason is, to be honest, cost. Buying another bike, even like a basic spec winter bike, is still £1,000 plus. I know you can find bargains online and so on, but if you're looking for something specific, it isn't as easy to come across. And then it's another bike to maintain, it's another set of tyres to put on, it's another saddlebags, another multi-tool, all those things, Garmin mount, all those things add up. And I just think if I can just trim the bike collection down where possible and cut down on those costs, then that helps me spend more time out on the road training, going to events, those sorts of things. So this is what I'm going to ride for the winter. Now, before this video, I did actually weigh this bike and was a little shocked at how heavy it is. It is heavy. I've got cyclic cameras front and rear, plenty of spares. This cockpit, 10.8 kilos it weighed in at, so not ideal, but as I say, this is purely a training machine. It doesn't really matter if it's 20 kilos because I just need to get out there and riding to duration rather than distance and get the training done. So this is what I'm riding. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.